dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, what's good, original crew? It's your boy DJ New Kid, your girl.
Sierra Nicole.
Today, man, top 10. Well, not top 10. 10 most evil Canadians in history. Not top 10. We just got 10 most evil. Well, you might as well say.
Might as well. I mean, we're just going to call it what it is.
Because then you can always add another 10 most.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Then you can have 20 most. A continuation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Instead of just saying top. You get it.
Yeah, I get it.
No ranking needed when it comes down to the evilness.
Just 10 most. Yeah.
So with that being said, man, before we get into it, don't get offended. Because they're going after Canada. We already reacted to Americans, even though this one came out first.
Yeah.
You know, maybe next time we need to do across the lake. You know what I'm saying? UK, put some respect.
Across the pond.
We acting like y'all ain't got no craziness going on over there. So with that being said, man, make sure y'all check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go. If you want a first part, you gotta do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video,
liking it with a thumbs up.
That's all we ask. Let's go. Let's check it out. Let's see what it's about. Let's see. I know the Piggy Palace is gonna be on there because that will happen in Canada. Remember that one? Yeah, because you just watched the what's it called the Criminal Minds episode.
Oh, okay. Was it Canada?
Yeah, that was in Canada. That happened in and then we just found out about the film guy.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
So I feel like those who have to be on this list.
You'd probably be surprised, child.
This is, I am told, the worst shooting disaster in Canadian history.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at 10 of the most evil Canadians in history.
These people were animals.
For this list, we're looking at some of the most despicable individuals from the Great White North who have wreaked havoc on the world in their own respective ways. Which of these entries shocks you the most? Let us know in the comments. Joseph Albert Guay. Years after getting married to his wife Rita, Joseph Albert Guay met a younger lady with whom he struck up a romantic relationship. Determined to spend the rest of his life with his newfound lover, Guay devised a plot to get his wife out of the picture. To achieve this plan, he sought the help of two accomplices, his friend Marguerite Pitre and her brother Généreux Rouet, who was a clockmaker. In 1949, Guay persuaded Rouet to build an explosive device, which he then checked into an airplane Rita was going to board. The device.
Did she say his? He got the friend and her brother.
The friend may have been
No.
her brother.
No.
I couldn't understand the names if it was male or female. Sorry. That's why I didn't speak on it.
Years after getting married to his wife Rita, Joseph Albert Guay met a younger lady with whom he struck up a romantic relationship. Determined to spend the rest of his life with his newfound lover, Guay devised a plot to get his wife out of the picture. To achieve this plan, he sought the help of two accomplices, his friend Marguerite Pitre and her brother Généreux Rouet, who was a clockmaker. In 1949, Guay persuaded Rouet to build an explosive device, which he then checked into an airplane Rita was going to board. The device detonated during the flight, killing all 23 people on board, including Rita. Gay's heinous plan may have succeeded, but he was also put to death after being convicted of the crime. Russell Williams. For 23 years, Russell Williams was a decorated pilot and officer of the Canadian Armed Forces, rising to the rank of colonel. Williams was the commander of Canada's largest military airbase when he was arrested in February 2010 for the murder of Jessica Lloyd.
Williams' arrest hit like a bombshell.
He had been connected to the crime through the tire tracks found outside Lloyd's home after her disappearance. During police interrogation, Williams confessed not only to Lloyd's murder, but to multiple assaults, and also breaking into women's homes to steal their underwear.
Yeah, 60 pieces of theirs.
He would then take photographs of himself wearing these garments. At his trial, Williams faced various charges, including murder, assault, and 82 counts of breaking and entering. He is currently serving a life sentence.
How do you feel?
Oh, he on a whole nother.
What you've done? Like what? Disappointed.
Elizabeth Wettlaufer.
Just disappointed.
My whole thing, exactly. My whole thing is because I was like, you breaking into women's homes. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Then he's still in that underwear, so I'm thinking it's a sexual thing. Well, it is a sexual thing. But you wearing the underwear.
Taking pictures of yourself wearing? Like, this is weird. It's already weird that you breaking in.
Just go to Walmart and get you some.
Right?
Find your size.
Right, find your own size. Put on somebody else. That's weird.
They should be clean and never worn before. You don't know what she...
Well, maybe that's the fetish. That's weird.
And why? And I guess the reason why you possibly killed her because she caught you. Because you never. He said he was assaulted. It was assaulted. Not he only got one murder charge.
Okay.
From my understanding, but that's. We got a woman.
It's quite horrific that sometimes it's the ones who are supposed to care for us that end up harming us. That certainly was the case with Elizabeth Wettlaufer, who worked as a nurse in multiple healthcare facilities around Ontario.
Because soon enough, she'd be working night shifts. The nurse on duty, responsible for all the medications. She was the keeper. She was the boss.
During this time, Wettlaufer murdered 8 elderly patients of hers and attempted to kill 6 others. She committed these crimes by injecting her victims with the diabetes medication insulin, which, when administered in high doses, can lead to coma and death.
Most of them lived at this care center in Woodstock, Ontario. In a chilling confession to police, Wettlaufer claimed they were annoying, stubborn, and some even wanted to die.
Wettlaufer also had substance use disorder, and while at a rehab facility in 2016, she confessed to her despicable actions, chalking them up to, quote, surges beyond her control. In 2017, she was convicted and handed 8 consecutive life sentences.
She said she was sorry, but sorry's too late, it's already done.
Luka Magnotta.
And so I was on Facebook one day and I found a post. A lot of people have been feverishly posting about a video that was online.
In 2010, multiple videos began appearing online which portrayed acts of animal cruelty being carried out by an unidentified man. The clips caught the attention of a group of online sleuths who were able to identify the man as Luka Magnotta. Soon after, another video by Magnotta surfaced. Only this time, he was no longer inflicting harm on an animal, but a human being.
It was no longer a game of online, this was real world.
The victim in the recording was an international student from China named Jun Lin. Magnotta had lured Lin to his apartment, where he murdered him and then mutilated his body on camera. Magnotta fled the country afterwards, but was eventually arrested in Berlin. The investigation of the case became the subject of a highly controversial Netflix documentary.
They finally caught him. And it was just like the perfect way for Luka to go down. Luka was caught in an internet cafe because he couldn't stay away from his vanity.
Clifford Olson, dubbed...
We've heard him. We heard part of the story.
I don't remember.
Back when we one of our old probably video like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. We found out about him, and it was in one of them like top 10 like bizarre clips, but we didn't really get an elaborated story. I just remember because I remember very bits and pieces of it, but I don't know. I ain't know the detail. You know what I'm saying?
Beast of British Columbia, Clifford Olson was a serial killer who rained terror on young people in the area in the early 80s. Olson claimed 11 lives in less than 1 year. He was finally arrested on August 12, 1981, after a failed abduction. What makes this case even more outrageous is the controversial plea deal Olson reached with the authorities. In exchange for confessing to all 11 murders and leading police to the locations of the victims' remains, Olson's wife and child received 100,000 Canadian dollars. He was eventually sentenced to life in prison before dying of cancer in 2011. Paul Bernardo and Carla...
How the hell you do some... How you do that?
That's how we go basically pay you for these confessions. And the money go to your wife and kids.
How you do that? Tell me how you do that. What kind of government do that? Pay for a confession.
Basically, that's crazy.
Wow.
The crimes of killer couple Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka are arguably some of the most horrifying in the history of Canada. Even before meeting Homolka in October of 1987, Bernardo had committed multiple assaults, mostly in the town of Scarborough, Ontario.
The damage that it did to those victims was unreal.
After the couple began dating, Homolka became an accomplice to Bernardo's sadistic crimes, aiding him in the assault and murders of at least 3 young girls, one of whom was her own sister Tammy.
Homolka didn't lift a finger to save her sister from Bernardo.
Upon their arrests, Homolka turned on Bernardo, claiming to have been forced into participating under the threat of violence. Bernardo was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life imprisonment, while Homolka was found guilty of the lesser charge of manslaughter.
Since then, she's kept a low profile, going by the name Leanne Teal.
Marc Lépine, to date.
We heard about her before.
Why can't I remember anything?
You never do. You never do. That's
I
really
really
wild.
don't.
But that's crazy. She out and about with a whole different name, keeping a low profile, but she assisted in 3 murders, including your sister.
And you didn't do anything, didn't say anything, nothing.
You assisted.
Other than but you know.
When you say assisted,
you didn't stop, like you didn't do
And the only reason why you said something is because y'all got caught. Because if y'all didn't get caught, how many others would it? You know, because he had already did stuff previously before you. He just knew you was gonna be the one to help.
That's so weird.
The École Polytechnic Massacre remains one of the deadliest mass shootings in Canadian history. The ugly episode, which was perpetrated by 25-year-old Marc Lépine, occurred on December 6, 1989, and left 14 women dead, and an additional 14 other people injured.
Soon, news of a crazed gunman started trickling out, sending anxious families into shock. But no one knew anything for sure.
Fueled by his frustrations with feminism, Lépine walked into the École Polytechnique de Montréal and specifically targeted women in the institution.
He yelled at the guy that they have to leave the classroom. 9 women all together in the corner of the room. He told us that we were there because we were feminists.
At the end of the ordeal, he took his own life. The massacre acted as a catalyst for stricter gun control laws in Canada, and its anniversary is now observed as the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women.
These women's respective lives and destinies were shattered, which has left us with the obligation to reflect on this loss.
Gilbert Paul Jordan. Known in the media as the Boozing Barber, Gilbert Paul Jordan was a Canadian serial killer who found an unconventional way to kill his victims. Instead of conventional weapons, Jordan's was alcohol. A person who misused alcohol himself, Jordan would pick up women from bars in Vancouver's downtown East Side and ply them with drinks. Once they had blacked out, he would then force feed them with more alcohol until they overdosed and died. He mostly targeted Indigenous women in the area and is believed to have killed at least 8 women throughout his spree. Unbelievably, Jordan was only found guilty of manslaughter in 1 case and served just 6 years in prison. Inderjit Singh Rayat. Before
That is so...
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, y'all done let a lot of people slip. Y'all done paid somebody. Somebody didn't go to jail that helped her aiding and abetting in her sister death.
And others as well.
And then now fool and killed a serial killer.
That's 6 years.
Y'all be talking about.
Anyway, that's crazy.
9/11 attacks. The deadliest act of terrorism in the aviation industry involved Air India Flight 182. On June 23, 1985, the plane left Montreal for London, but exploded in midair, leading to the deaths of all 329 passengers and crew.
There are memorials across the country to honor the victims. The sundial on Toronto's lakeshore marks the moment that changed hundreds of families' lives.
A second explosive device was aimed at another flight, but it detonated earlier than expected and killed 2 baggage handlers. The event was masterminded by the leader of the Babar Khalsa separatist group, Talwinder Singh Parmar. Parmar persuaded a member of the group, Inderjit Singh Rayat, who was a mechanic and electrician, to build the incendiaries used.
For some, Canada's worst mass murderer is considered a hero.
You would think that people would have moved on from those radical thoughts from 30 years ago, and we're at a new place in our history.
Of all the people involved, Rayat was the only one convicted. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring
15 years for blowing up planes and killing multiple
Over 3. Child.
And you killed 2 over here, and how many? 20-some? That's a lot to get 15 years.
Bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Robert Pickton, possibly one of the most prolific serial killers in Canadian history. Robert Pickton was a pig farmer whose large farm became the site of his despicable crimes. In 2007, Pickton was convicted of the second-degree murders of 6 women, although he confessed to an undercover agent that his actual victim count was 49.
The hours and hours of tapes and thousands of documents make up a staggering amount of evidence that until now could not be reported.
It's believed that Pickton's murderous spree began in the mid-'80s when he inherited his family's farm.
I think he acted alone most of the time, but I don't think he acted alone all of the time.
Together with his brother, he hosted raves that were sometimes attended by up to 2,000 people, some of whom became his eventual victims.
He actually set up the circumstances in these raves that they were having to lure effectively a kind of steady stream of prey for him. So in that sense, I don't know how much of it was a conscious effort on his part and how much of it was just circumstantial good fortune as far as he was concerned.
After killing them, Pickton reportedly gave their remains to his pigs. He was sentenced to life in prison, with no possibility of parole for 25 years.
25 years. So he still get out.
If he still...
Possibility of parole after 25.
After 25.
He can still get out. Damn. And you confess and say you got about 40-some. 49. But you got convicted for second-degree manslaughter for 6. Oh, my God. That's first-degree murder, bro. That's premeditated. After you done killed 1, that's premeditated for the rest of them.
Facts.
Because you carried out each murder the same way. That's premeditated. That's a plot.
Yeah.
Like, how you... Don't forget that he was also with the bodies and stuff, taking it, was using some of it for like the gelatin on the
like for cosmetic products.
Cosmetic products, also for like gummy candies too.
And stuff like that. Yeah.
So, yeah. Question is, do you think he acted alone? Because she says, one girl said in there, she doesn't believe that he acted alone on all of them. Because 49, you say you got 49 victims. You
What she trying to say? Possibly someone close to him. I'm just saying.
Somebody,
I'm just gonna say that.
Or let me say this, or somebody was aware that he was doing this. Not necessarily fully assisted, but may have been aware to some degree.
Possibly.
Because ain't no way you can hide doing it with 49. You could.
You could, but also it's like no one
Very
like
hard.
seen any type of red flags or
Notice anything or notice anyone.
Yeah.
Like how you, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey. With that being said, spam us up. Let us know y'all thoughts and opinions down below, man. This was very interesting.
Yeah,
to say the least. Very interesting. Very informative.
Yeah.
So let us know what's
Very
outside
disturbing.
our borders. I'm saying informative of what's outside our borders that we might not be aware of.
True.
With that being said, man, I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is.
Here in the house.
We are. We are, y'all.
Go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money low, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.